Just going to wait 30 seconds or so, give everyone a chance to come back in. I think we have about 5 more minutes. And pardon me, because I don't like, there are some points when this content is taught, and there are just a couple of points where you have to disseminate. You have to give out a certain amount of knowledge of new material before you can solve problems with it. And you're going to see, we're going to have right now, there are, I think, only 6 or 7 problems I put on Replit, but after we finish, you'll see those problems. I'm going to try to put probably about 6 or 7 more. There's probably going to be anywhere from 10 to 15 replets. And some of them are going to make you think, okay? You're going to have to think a lot about, and it's all going to be about mod. So we're going to talk about that hopefully exhaustively today over the next session. So we got 21 students back in here. Screen is shared. Thumbs up, you can see my screen, please. Musab, Nate, Ibrahim, I see you. Thumbs up, cool, thank you. So here we go. Come back to where we were. So this is floating point division, integer division, and then the remainder is what we were just looking at. And so this here, so what is the percent? This is called mod. Okay, it's modulus, but it's short, we call it mod. What does mod do? It gives you the remainder. So if someone can very quickly, I want to be able to get quick answers. I'm going to call on some people. So how about, I'm going to ask you to unmute your mics. Let's see how quickly you can maybe practice this. If Leighton, if you can unmute your mic. David, if you can unmute your mic. Nate, if you can unmute. Usab, if you can unmute. And let's see, I want you to just say the answer as soon as you can think about it. How about what is 8 mod 6?
2.
2.
2, right? Because what's really happening in your mind is we're taking 8, so this takes 8, you divide it by 6, and what's the remainder? 2. Okay? Say it as quickly as you can. What is 9 mod 4?
1.
1. Yep. You divide it by 4. 9 divided by 4. Everyone understands that. That's just 9 divided by 4. 2. Remainder of 1. What about 10 mod 5?
0.
0.
Yep. Make sure you understand that and can try to think about that quickly. Very, very helpful. How about, and this is not a math class, but how about 23 mod 6?
That's 5.
Yep.
5, yeah.
So what's going on? What's going on in again, the mind? So when you see 23 mod 6, you should say 23 divided by 6. Well, that's going to be 3, which is going to give you 18. And so the remainder is 5. So yes, 23 mod 6, the answer is 5. So it's probably weird wondering, why are we discussing this? Like this is not a math class. Why? I mean, but mod is very, very important to programming. Okay, so I want to make sure we all pardon me, that we all understand mod very clearly. So 23 mod 6 is, you said 5. Make sure we also know what is, let's do some more. What is this? 23 / 6.
That's 3.
That's the division,
3.
right? That's the division, 3. Let's do a couple more. How about 31 divide 8?
3.
3. And what about 31 mod 8?
1. Or no, 7.
Yeah, 31 divided by 8. You got to think about it. 31 divided by 8 is 3, right? And you're going to have 24. And so 31 minus 24 is 7 is your remainder, okay? So make sure that's really clear, okay? And there's several examples on here that I practice with. What else is this? Exponents we covered briefly. Here's all about mod on the slides if you want to go practice some more and look at some more examples. So how can this be useful? And these are just maybe some silly examples that we were to cover. But what if, y'all can go ahead and mute. I'll hit mute as well. But what if I were to tell you, okay, so How is mod useful? It's useful for many things. The first example that is given on the slides is checking for, which we're not going to cover right now fully, but I'm just plugging this or planting the seed, checking for even numbers, okay, which is commonly done in programming. Because how do you know, someone unmute and tell me, how do you know if a number is even or not? Don't tell me the programming answer, just mathematical. How do you know mathematics?
I mean, 2, 4, 6. I think it's like multiples of 2 or something like that. That's even, and then odd is just like 1, 3, 5, 7.
Yeah.
It's divisible by 2.
So Rebecca just said it's divisible by 2. Rebecca, can you elaborate on that? You're correct, 100% correct, but what does divisible by 2 really mean?
You can divide it by 2 and you won't get a remainder.
That's exactly it. Thank you, Rebecca. Perfectly stated. That if you divide it by 2, there will be no remainder. Oh. So if I were to have some number and I say, I want to know, is 11 an even number? Well, if I mod it by 2, hypothetically, if someone tells me that I think 11 is an even number, when I say, well, let's see, let's print 11 mod 2. And when we print it, let's see what the result is. Nope, it prints a 1. That's not an even number. If you're to say, well, I think 332 is an even number, well, let's mod it by 2. Yep, it's an even number because it's fully or cleanly divisible by 2 with no remainder. And there's going to be a way we can check for this later. I'll just show you, but this is getting a week ahead, that if I can check if a number's even by doing this, okay? I remember I told you one equal sign is called assignment. If you want to check if something is equal, you put 2 of them. And I'm not teaching this now, so if you don't get it, it's okay. This is next week. But I'm just showing you that, so this will either print true or false. So this here, Python's going to say 332 mod 2, which equates to 0. And then Python's going to say 0 equal 0. Yes, that's a true statement. And so when we run this, we're going to get true. What if I were to say, how about 19 mod 2 equal 0? You'd say that's not true, and you're correct. Python will print false. Okay, we're going to cover this next week, but we can use it to test our numbers odd or even. What else can we use it for? Well, let me ask you. If I were to say 152 seconds, how many minutes is that? Someone tell me. Anyone?
2 minutes and 32 seconds.
Perfect. Mariam, you said 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Pardon me, I'm coughing. 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Okay, so we can check for even numbers. That's the first thing we did. We can also get minutes from total seconds. So 152 seconds, this is really 2 minutes and 32 seconds, right? How do we do that? Well, because we're so smart, did we really have a calculator in our brain? No, but what do we really do in the background? If you wanted to now break it down mathematically. So if I were to say seconds equals 152, how do I get minutes? Someone tell me, how do I get the minutes from that? We know it's 2.
Divide by 60.
So you took 152, integer division 60, and that gives you 2 minutes, right? We took 152 and we did integer division of 60 and we got 2 minutes. And we know that we have 32 seconds remaining. So how do we get that 32 seconds remaining in programming? What do I type here? If I wanted to say seconds remaining equals, what do I type here? Anyone?
152 mod 60.
Perfect. Nicely done. 152 mod 60. That just gives me the remainder. So I can say, I could do it now. I can make a print statement. I could say seconds. This is going to be so ugly. Seconds. So this is the variable right here. Seconds, comma, seconds is the same as, oh boy, this many minutes, and I can't see this right now. And, oh boy, comma, seconds remaining. This is so ugly. And then we're gonna show a better way of printing later. But hypothetically, let me come, I don't want to run through everything, so let me put this over here. Well, 152 seconds is the same as 2 minutes and 32 seconds is what I just coded. It's kind of hard to, it's one long line, okay? So that's an example of, pardon me, how we can use mod to calculate something cool. I'll show you another one. What about a famous problem of if getting change from a cashier? So if, what would be a good, bear with me, I'm doing some math in my head real quick. Yeah. What if you gave some money, you bought something and you gave it 20 and they gave you some whole dollars and it was also 93 cents, okay? So the cashier is supposed to give you 90, how about this? Pardon me, notepad. I just want a white background real quick. Oh my goodness, 1 second. And annotate. So the cashier gives you 93 cents. Okay. Do you want her to give you 93 pennies? Or him, cashier's a him, you want him to give you 93 pennies? That would be an epic fail. And you'd want to like Corona cough right in their face maybe. No, that would be busted. Okay, so what do you do? If they give you 93 cents, how many quarters do you expect them to give you?
3.
You expect them to give you 3 quarters. Okay, you want 3 quarters, right? And so this is really hard to type. You know what? Pardon me. 93 cents, I'm gonna use a text. So you would want them to give you 3 quarters. And then after they gave you the 3 quarters, how many cents are remaining? Well, so the 3 quarters
18.
is 75 cents. And so, yeah, how many cents are remaining now?
18.
I'm tired. That sounds right. Yeah, there's 18 cents remaining. So now there are 18 cents remaining. So from the 18 cents that are remaining, what do you expect them to give you now? How many dimes?
1.
You expect 1 dime, which equals 10 cents. And so now how many cents are remaining?
3.
If there were 18 cents remaining and they just gave you 1 dime, how many cents are now remaining?
8.
There's now 8 cents remaining. Okay? And so how many nickels do you expect?
1.
You expect 1 nickel, okay, which equals 5 cents. And so now there are how many cents remaining?
3.
3 cents remaining. And so long story short, that you should get, or you could type the following. This is actually what I want you to give me as output. You'll say 93 cents change should be given as, I'll put some spaces. How about it should be given as 3 quarters, 1 dime, 1 nickel, and 3 pennies. And guess what? We can do all of that with what we've covered today. We can do all of that with what we've covered today. So that's a test I want to try to do. So let's first think about that. Can y'all see this on the screen still? Yeah, y'all can see that. So how do I want you to tell me, what do I do to get those, to get the 75 cents? How did I get 75 cents? Or how did I get the 3 quarters? What did I do?
Divide by 25.
So how did I get the 3 quarters? The answer I just given, I think that was my medium. You said we divide by 25. So we can really say num quarters equals, how about I say, first let me just start up here. This is actually code now. I'll put comments. How did I get the 3/4? We divide by 25. So num quarters really equals, how about I were to say total, or let's just say change equals 93. Okay. So how do we get the 3/4? We divide by 25. So you said change, integer division, 25. Okay. This gives us 3/4. So how do I get the remaining cents? I would call it change remaining, maybe. Change remaining equals, how do I get that remaining 18 cents? Someone tell me.
You divide by 10.
Nope.
You mod by 25.
Yep, because think about it. I wanted to, let me annotate this. We have right now, we have 93, and we just got that there are 3/4 because we divided it by 25. And we want to really know what is the remainder. Well, the remainder is 18. Well, how do we get that remainder? It's by performing this division and then looking at the remainder. So that's going to be 93 mod 25, right? So here, this is going to be it's going to be change mod 25. Raise your hand if that makes sense to you at all. In the participant window, please. Raise your hand if this makes sense. Cool. I see the overwhelming majority raising your hand. So here you get to test yourself. I'm going to do the breakout rooms. I would like you to be able to come up with, here, let me hit print screen, bear with me. Paint, the most rock star program in the world. Let me hit stop share. First, let me clear the annotations. Stop share and paste, pardon me. Oh no, oh, bummer. Here, what did I say? 93, what is it called? 93 cents change. How about total change, 93 cents. This is the same as, and I want you to say 3/4, 1 nickel, sorry, 1 dime, 1 nickel, and 3 pennies. I want y'all to write code that is going to effectively give you this. So let me paste this, one moment, copy, crop, save, and I'll call this change. Look in the chat window, please. And I'm going to share this with all of you within the chat window. So you should all save this file or double click it onto your screen. Okay, so I'm uploading it now. So in the chat window of Zoom, all of you should double click that file change.jpg and then put a thumbs up once you have it. Put a thumbs up, please, in the participant window once you've double clicked the file. Jonathan Huth, you have a question, or is that your thumbs up? Ayub, you have a question? Okay, thank you. We're still waiting on more thumbs up. I need you to go to the chat window. That's at the bottom of your screen. You click chat, double click Sean. You're asking Sean in the chat right under where the file is, where it's at. Sean, I appreciate that. That is fantastic. And For those of you who don't know, I know Sean, so that's what makes it even better. That's fantastic, Sean. It's right above where you typed, where is it? Did you get it, Sean? I can't see. Fantastic, Sean. Great. Okay, so enough people at least raised your thumb. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to breakout rooms. I need y'all to create code that's going to come up with that. And so as a starter, you should make a new program. You should hit save. Okay, save it. And what do you want to save it as? You should save it as, in module 2, I'm going to save it as change. Okay, call it change. And start by saying total change equals 93. That's your variable. So I need you to create variables. You think of what you want to call them. And I want you to come up with a program that's going to ultimately give you that exact output that is shared above. Okay, y'all can't see my screen. Sorry. I'm starting the program for you. Total change equals 93. Okay, y'all should write a program that's going to give you that exact output that was shared in the chat. And where is the chat? I think my Zoom is giving me problems now because I'm not seeing the chat, but y'all have the output. Okay, so where was the output? The output was also basically you need to write a program that will give you, when you run it, it will give you that. Word for word, letter for letter, space for space. Okay, so I'm gonna make the breakout rooms. If we can have maybe one person in each breakout room, if you can please share your screen and then group solve this together. So everyone should have gotten a message that requested you to go join a breakout room. And it would have popped up saying, would you like to join this room? And then you say yes, and you're gonna be moved into another room.
So we start with quarters.
Yeah,
That's
so
the biggest number.
quarters, yeah. Oh wait, I should go to dimes.
And just a heads up that total change, you can't have spaces inside variables. So you can put total underscore change. And only use letters for your variables. Don't put anything else for now.
Okay.
So like on number 3, on line 3, you have, what is the cube? I got you.
On.
Give-
That's just
but-
the remainder.
Yeah, so give it a nice name that makes sense to you. You called it remainder, so let's call it that. But it's not really quarters remaining. What does it really mean in English?
The cents remaining.
Yeah, so call it that. I know we like to be lazy, but actually it's better to have a good, meaningful variable name. So type in cents underscore remaining or cents remaining like that. That's fine. Okay, cool. Keep going. I'm gonna go visit another room.
Oh, wait. Okay.
All right, so let y'all tell me what to do.
Yeah, thank you, Ibrahim, for doing that.
Anybody?
Mariam, what does he do next?
How
How does he get the quarters?
Put divided by 25.
So on line 3, what does he specifically type?
Bracket open.
Bracket open?
Well, not really a bracket open. You're supposed to put
What does he want to divide?
93
Yeah, well, what is
divided
93?
by
What is 93? Look up there. What's it called?
start change.
Yeah, perfect.
Start underscore change.
Yep, nicely done.
Divided by, so 2. No, I bring 2.
Perfect. Nice. Ibrahim,
Um,
she knew that, and you might not have known that.
Well, no, because
25.
I typed 1 because I'm so used to Java.
Okay. And what do you put there, Mariam?
25.
25. Okay. So Chloe, what do we put for change remaining?
You'll do start change mod 25.
Perfect. Change remaining equals start change.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, just erase line 2. Nicely done, Chloe. Change remaining equals start change mod 25. So now start change remaining has that value 18. And can you write that as a comment, Ibrahim? If you can just put afterwards on the same line, say now remaining is 18, or now change remaining is 18. Nicely done. I'm going to go on to another room. Keep chatting it through, please. So is one person just knocking this out, or are y'all talking about it?
We talked through
Well,
it.
yeah, we talked through it.
And try to make your output look like what I provided to you.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Okay, I will say for you, that is an extension of
Nicely done, though. I'm gonna go visit another room, see how they're doing.
I think you have to. I think you have to make another variable to store the remainder by doing a mod
Oh,
of quarter mod
Because these are both now the same.
what should
25.
that variable name be?
You change remaining or something along those lines.
Yeah, that's perfect. Change remaining equals total change mod 25. Nicely done, Rebecca.
Thank you.
All we have to do now to solve for DI is take the reciprocal of both.
Oh, someone else there's teaching going on. Is that
Oh,
Farah?
No.
Which house?
No, that's my mom.
I think that, yeah, that's Miss Flo.
Uh-huh.
So from there, so should we divide the or make dime
That's gonna allow us to find
the mod or
So
change
what
remaining or
what right now, can I encourage you on line 5? Go ahead and at the end of line 5, put your mouse, put a couple spaces. Now put a comment and type change remaining is now 18. You're just you can visually see that's what's left, right? Because after you've divided 93 by 25, you got 3/4 with 18 cents remaining. So now enter and ask your question again.
that should be
a 2.225.
So what does he do now?
We don't need that yet. That's the height of the object. That's H of O.
Dime equals
We want to find the image.
what should that be change remaining?
change remaining
We'll use H of O in the magnification equation once we
divided
find
by
10.
10. Yes.
Perfect.
So should I change the should I make change remaining something new?
Well, no, you can keep keeping as change remaining again. So on line 8, you say, or line 9, change remaining, and you're going to update that again. So if you've taken 18 and you divide it by 10, you get 1 dime, and how many pennies are left?
So none of these
That should just be 8.
Yep. So you get it's going to be 8 pennies left. So mathematically, how'd you get that?
That should be nickel.
Wait. But first, no. How do we get? You have to calculate line 9. We don't want to manually type 8. We want to calculate it. So what do we do, Rebecca or Farha?
Change remaining mod 10. Oh wait, no, dime.
No, you got it. Change remaining.
Oh, okay.
Actually, hold on. Yeah, change remaining equals dime. No, change remaining. Change remaining equals. This is kind of weird. Change remaining mod 10.
Okay.
We'll just go ahead and make it 15.
And let's talk about that. So on line 7, what is change remaining? What's the value of change remaining on line 7?
18.
So 18 divided by 10 is 1, right? And so dime is 1. Now 18 divided by 10 is 1, but what's the remainder?
Now
It's
we
going to
use
be 8. So how do you get 8
Now,
into
10,
that?
right?
How do you get
Multiplication
8?
equation.
Pardon me, I want to annotate this. How do I get 8 into this right here?
Is equal to
I
8
do so
divided by the
by,
definition.
we had 18
Behind the object, which
divided
is
by
the
10.
negative of the
That's 1.
position of the
And
image.
that's what I got right
So
here.
the
I
position
got
of
the
the
1
object.
right there. So now, how do
We
I
now
get
have
just that
H
8?
sub, we have H sub
I
O
want
to
8
get
to go right there.
close to the
How do I
object,
get the 8 right there?
125.
Is I
We
need to take
found
the remainder of
position of the
18
image,
divided
and
by
it gave
10.
us
So
position
that's why I'm
of
still
the
using that
object.
change
We're gonna
remaining
solve
right here.
this for
That's
H sub O.
18.
For
And then
H sub O.
Which is
18
mod 10.
mod 10 will give you the remainder of 8. Does that make
H
sense?
sub I over H sub O is
Perfect. I'm going to go
equal-
visit the next room. Keep on going. You're almost done with it.
What's next, Nichols, I guess?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. How y'all doing?
Bad.
Not really good.
Not
A little
really
bit
good. So let's see here. I wish I'd come here first. I don't want to teach. I'm going to move someone else in here and see if this, but I'm going to move, who can I move? I want to check this out. The following person's be like, what just happened? I don't even, but the person I'm moving, I don't know if he knows this, so we'll see. Sean, Musab, welcome to the group.
Yeah.
Can you, hi, we're in your group. Did y'all finish it?
Oh, yeah.
Y'all finished it, you said.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you give some assistance in here?
Okay.
Yep, we need some assistance. So let me encourage everyone. Let's try. So we don't need lines 8 and 10. Let's delete that. And let's let's always try to use good variables so it's easy for anyone who just walks in to help. So how about you call line 1 total change? Call it total change, even though I knew that's what you meant by TC. Okay, let's spend hopefully 3 minutes on this. But
Put an underscore.
yeah,
You can't use space.
Can't use a space. Nicely done, Musab. Okay, so if the total change is 93, how do we get 3/4? Just mathematically, click on line 2. How do we get, and hit enter. How do we get, now go to line 3. How do we get 3/4? What do we do to 93 to get 3? Sean, Thompson, or Ryan, Ayub?
Oh, excuse me?
Yeah, given 93 pennies, we know that that's 3/4. So I'm asking you, what did we do to determine it's 3/4? Mathematically, what did we do to get 3/4 out of 93 pennies?
You would divide it.
By what?
Divide it by a quarter.
Yeah, so by 25.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't you say quarters equals, type quarters equals. You tell them what to type, Musab.
We use a variable of capital Q and then S as a shortcut.
No,
but
it's
you can
okay.
type
Just
quarters.
type quarters equals, but it's not 93, it's total change. And make sure you spell that right. You have TOA.
Sure, that's that.
Oh, well, at least you're consistent. That's fine. As long as you're consistent, it's okay. Total change what? You said divided by 25. Okay. Now, what kind of divide is that? It has to be integer division. So you actually need 2 forward slashes. Okay. And that's given to give you the total number of quarters, right? So now how do you get the, if we actually have 25, so we have 3/4. So I'm going to end with this. Here, bear with me. Why can't I annotate? Here's annotate. So if you had 93 and you just divided it by 25 and you got 3/4, how many pennies are remaining?
18.
18. And so how do we get that 18 mathematically? It's the result of doing this division here and looking at the remainder. So that's total change. So now click at the end of line 4. Click at the end of line 4 and hit enter. And now you can say change remaining, type change underscore remaining equals total change mod 25. And tell me, and tell me the truth. Tell me that doesn't make sense, or tell me it does make sense. I'm curious. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Ryan, Ayub?
Yep.
Yeah, that seems right. Yeah.
When you know the mod is the percent. You don't type the word mod. Mod is percent. So percent, and now you put 25. That's giving you the remainder. So line 4 is the result of the division. So 93 divided by 25 is going to be 3/4.
There you go. Got it.
And then total change, 93 mod 25 is going to give you the 18, which is the change remaining. That's what you want. And you can keep going step by step, and you'll be able to continue and get that answer. I'm going to go visit and see how the other groups are doing.
Boys, I got it, I think. Yep.
Hey, what's going on here?
We finished this.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
Chloe, by the way, these are my kids, so that's not clear. So cool, nicely done. So let me go check out the other groups.
A5 being negative tells you whether or not it's upside down.
Nicely done. So y'all basically have it working perfectly, right?
Yes.
Just about.
Nicely done.
And I think it's good now.
Yep.
There we go.
Nice.
But yeah, let's see here.
I'm going to bring everyone back to the main room now.
17.
So that was a great exercise to practice the use of not only mod, but it's also, there's a lot of problem solving there. And a lot of students, you know, it's not easy to just do that at once. You have to really think about it incrementally. How did I get the number of quarters? Then I have 18 cents remaining. How do I get the dimes? Now, how do I get that cents remaining? Who can show us their solution if you don't mind? If you can raise your hand and tell me that, yeah, you're happy to show your solution to the group in the participant window. So Nate, show us your solution, and then just very briefly, let's see what you have, and we're going to look at a couple of different solutions. Then we'll look at Charles and Mohan, David. Nate, so you actually hit share screen to do so. Cool. Pretty straightforward. And I'd say, Nate, when I look at your solution, I think the only part of that that really gets people confused, and you did it correct, is this is where most people, I think, get confused, is this right here, or the line above. The idea that we're changing change remaining. So change remaining was 18 cents, right? But then we're now saying mod it by 10, because we're saying, well, we're dividing 18 by 10 to get 1 dime, but there's now still 8 more cents remaining. So updating that using the same variable, I think, is what's new for a lot of students. But great job to that particular breakout room, that team. That was fantastic. Great solution.